Welcome one and all. I love science. I may not be a witch, but here I am. I'm the science witch, and I'm here with my second shipping video. So this one I got a request from my friend Jade to do HARDenshipping. Now, if you don't know, HARDenshipping is the ship between Archie and Maxie from the Pokemon Generation 3 or the Hoenn region. So this is a ship that I had a large affiliation with last year, so when I was in 9th grade, and it was like Team Magma took over my life. This ship really put a huge impact onto how I was as a person or not as a person, but just my interests and everything, with just the Pokemon in general, with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire coming out, and that caused me to look more into these teams, and I fell in love with Team Magma, and I fell in love with a ship I stumbled across, which was HARDenshipping. And the only way I can describe HARDenshipping is 2 words: opposites attract. Archie and Maxie are total opposites. Archie is the leader of Team Aqua, who wishes to expand the ocean for the benefit of the Pokemon and to return life to its natural state, to like how it was before humans and everything. Maxie, on the other hand, is the leader of Team Magma. He wants to expand the landmass to be able to further develop the human race and overall improve the landscape for everyone. And yes, by limiting the ocean, he is like cutting off, I guess, the land supply for the water type Pokemon. But with the abundance of ocean all over the world, you can see why more land would be necessary. But I'm not going to get into that argument because I got into an argument with a couple of my friends on whether Team Magma or Team Aqua was morally correct. Back to the ship. Archie and Maxie are absolute opposites, but that's what makes them compatible, in my opinion. I absolutely love opposite ships. It's just the whole tension and the hate between them. It's perfect. But anyway, I have seen a lot of different headcanons for Archie and Maxie, specifically one that is reoccurring, that they are childhood friends, and that is one that I actually really like. That they were childhood friends who grew up together, went to university together, and then had some kind of falling out that ruined the entire friendship. Everything they had been through over the years was gone. They didn't care. It just ruined everything, and it escalated. It just kept escalating, and basically they were just a bunch of drama queens, which started the whole Team Magma and Team Aqua. But with the ship, it's also headcanoned a lot when it comes to the ship that they dated too in their high school or maybe early college years or something. And part of the reason why they broke up was because of the constant arguing about this. Well, not exactly that, but it was just they were always arguing, and this kind of like was one thing they couldn't agree on, and it just drove them both insane, and they ended up, I usually see it as Maxie left Archie, but sometimes I feel like Archie would be the one to leave Maxie because of personal headcanons of mine that Maxie is really, he gets jealous easily and is very protective over Archie despite differences in physique. Some personal headcanons that I have for this ship is that after everything went on with Team Magma and Team Aqua and reawakening Kyogre and Groudon, I like the fact that if you see the ending of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you see they kind of like, I guess, forgive each other, and I think they walk off together. I'm not too sure, but they end up like not necessarily rekindling a friendship or something, but they sort of bury the hatchet in a sense. They put it behind them and realize the mistakes that they made. And from there, I can see it going to where they reconnect and they end up moving in together, but they're technically on the run because they're still criminals. They're on the run, or they're disguised or something, they just don't really leave, and they have a house in, I believe I always said it was Lily Cove? It was Lily Cove or Moss Deep that I always said they would have a house because of the location. And May, whether you were Brendan or May, I still see it as more May than Brendan, but May is kind of like their adopted child because of her father's, or Norman, if you played as her, but Norman's lack of parenting or lack of being there for his daughter. So they sort of took her under their wings and made her feel like, gave her basically two fathers for the one that she basically never had. Because you can see throughout the entire games that Norman's like never there. And it's kind of ridiculous, but it's like, you can't help but feel bad for her. She like almost doesn't have a father. And again, I'm saying this as if you played as May or the female protagonist, not as Brendan, or the male protagonist. And so basically May kind of helps them after everything that went on, and she keeps them from being caught, or because she's the champion, she helps get them out of trouble. So it's like they kind of not necessarily get off the hook, but due to a lot of negotiating with Steven, they get a lot less harsh of punishments, which that seems a little bit far-fetched because, they almost destroy the world and they just get next to no punishment, so that seems a little bit ridiculous. But still, it seems like that's a common headcanon people have, which I definitely share because of, again, not only am I a sucker for opposites attract ships, but I am also a sucker for domestic ships. And that definitely is a really big domestic ship for me, because they're each probably in their mid to late 30s or early 40s, if they're even the same age. But it's very, very likely that they could go into hiding together. Because, that way, like, they have each other's back, I guess. Which it could seem more as like a friendship thing, but from the way I see it, I can't see them being friends. Which, I know that sounds weird, because I can see them in a relationship, but not as friends. I feel like they can't tolerate each other as friends. It's weird to say, yes, but it's just how it seems. Sometimes people can be best friends, but they can't date because it's just not right. I see it as the opposite. They can't be friends because they would just bicker and argue, which they do if they were a couple, but they bicker and argue, and because they're just friends, they don't value the relationship as much. So when they're dating, the relationship is more valued and they're able to work things out easier, and they learn more to accept the other's faults. And again, these are just domestic, not necessarily based on how the characters themselves act. This is just purely headcanon that I've read. But as for actual canonical personalities and everything, they don't mix. They don't mix very well. So for their canonical ship analysis, for their canonical compatibility rating, I rate them a 63% chance of, that's their compatibility. They're 63% compatible. I say this because, again, opposites attract. Even though I love this kind of relationship, it may not necessarily be a healthy or ideal relationship, and it would end very badly depending on, the choices that are made and everything. But going on canonical things, I feel like it would be an unhealthy relationship. Also the fact that they're criminals would not play a good part in the relationship. But headcanon-wise, I definitely give the fanon representations of Archie and Maxie a probably about 90, no, not that high, 89. I give them an 89% fanon compatibility due to how they're portrayed and everything. So that is it for my views on HARDenshipping from Pokemon's Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Ruby Sapphire, and Emerald. So, you guys know what to do. If you have a ship that you would like to have me analyze, leave a comment below, or you can send me a message on my Twitter, which is below, and my Tumblr, which is below. So, again, if you want to see something, let me know, and due to popularity, I will pick one and try and get back to you guys as soon as I possibly can. So thank you guys so much for taking your time to watch this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, why don't you take a stab at that like button? If you're feeling risky, subscribe. I hope to see you all in the future, and take care of yourselves. Love you guys. Bye.